Hi, and welcome back to week 4 in our Human Behavior and Social Environment Class 1 here at Widener. So congratulations, we are officially more than halfway through our course. So our journey together is coming down the home stretch here in our Human Behavior and Social Environment 1 class. And I fully realize that this is a lot of information that you guys are taking in at a very accelerated pace. So if at any point you feel like you're struggling, you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I know that several of you are reaching out to me having questions, which is great. But if you happen to be watching this video and you have a question, you haven't reached out yet, please make sure that you do so. I am definitely here to help you be successful in the class and help things become more integrated for you here. So the first thing that you want to do in week 4, in which we're going to be covering the biological person and life beginnings, is to take a look at these learning resources. So you want to make sure that you're carefully reading the objectives, as well as carefully perusing all of our readings, as well as the media and social media clips that we have here for you. So during week 4 and going forward in our course, the biopsychosocial information that we're presenting is going to be presented in developmental phases. So this week in week 4, where our main focus is on the physical person. So our textbook frames this as a medical model lens. So I really encourage you to take some time this week to spend time getting to know the neurobiological information. So this is cutting edge in terms of social work, really pairing the advances in neuroscience and brain biology with social work philosophy and theory. So the readings this week are really pertaining to the beginnings of life, which include prenatal development, infancy, as well as early childhood. So after you complete all of this week's reading resources here, you want to come down to our discussion board post. So our first discussion board post on week 4 is another check-in. So just asking you about how things are going with that older adult interview, as well as the annotated bibliography. And you're remembering that your older adult interview is due by week 5. So this week, you want to check in with me as well as your peers on our discussion board right here, talking about how you're progressing on the older adult interview and annotated bibliography. What are you learning in this process, and how has your work proceeded since you last checked in regard to this project? So you're remembering that this is not a formal discussion forum. You're just required to check in. You are not required to respond to peers, but again, feel free to reach out to each other, offering advice, suggestions, ideas. You can also feel free to post questions for me here as well, but you're remembering that if you have a question, the fastest route to get to me is to send me an email. So the second part of our week 4 discussion board is the phases of the life cycle. So for this discussion board post, you want to use your reading in chapter 7 of the Rogers textbook and the Sanchez family case. So you want to think about and answer the questions from page 232 of our Rogers text and post your answers right here on our week 4 discussion board. So this is going to count as your initial post. And again, gentle reminder, you want to make sure that you include citations for any information that you use from our course materials, as well as other outside references. So there is a response prompt required. So this week you want to make sure that you're following up with at least one other classmate, preferably a classmate who doesn't have any responses yet. So your initial post is due on Thursday, and your follow-up response is due between Friday and Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So after you complete that week 4 discussion board post, you want to make sure that you come down to this assessment navigation tool here and complete your week 4 concept quiz. So I hope that you have a fabulous week. I look forward to seeing your responses and reading your quizzes. So have a great week. I look forward to seeing you on week 5.